I, female 27, and my husband 29, have been together for 3 years. In those 3 years, I've never known him to be selfish. Occasionally immature, yes, but even that was rare. These problems arose when those stupid cake-smashing videos got popular, and my husband thought they were hilarious. I never thought they were funny, and he knows that, yet he was always showing me videos of those poor wives getting the happiest day of their life ruined by their idiot partner for some cheap laughs. He also knows I have a history of cake smashing. My family does the cake smashing thing. I remember it was my 17th birthday, and I pleaded with my mom not to do it. She promised, and I trusted her. I had my hair and makeup done up all nice, and right when I blew out my candle, my mom pushed my head into the cake, and one of the decorations on the cake ended up slicing my forehead. Not enough to go to the hospital, but enough for some substantial bleeding. My birthday was ruined, and after I wouldn't come out of my room. My mom still calls me a brat for that. I told him I'd leave him if he ever did something like that to me. He started laughing, but I was being for real, though he really wasn't taking me seriously. Now skip to a few days ago, when my wedding happened. Everything was perfect. I was happy and he was happy. I was excited about our new lives as newlyweds. I felt like a princess in my poofy white dress, done-up hair, and perfect makeup. All very expensive things I'd like to mention. We get to the cake cutting part, and as I turn to him, he scoops up a huge chunk of our wedding cake and smashes it all over my face. Everything just seemed to go in slow motion for a few moments. He's just laughing at me and then says, "You should see your face," and continues to laugh. Other people in the crowd, mostly my family, are also laughing at me. Then I just start walking away. He realizes that I'm leaving, tries to catch up with me, and says I'm being extra. I push him away and order an Uber. As I got outside, most of the crowd was following me, telling me to come back. I get into the Uber and drive away. I drove to our apartment, packed most of my things, and went to stay in a hotel. I currently, though, am staying at a friend's house. My family and his family have been blowing up my phone for days, saying I'm being childish, and my husband is a good man, and it was just a joke. My husband has been calling me off the hook, telling me to please come home, and that he wants to talk. He said that he was sorry and didn't think that I'd get that emotional. This was supposed to be the happiest day of our lives, and he embarrassed me in front of everyone for some prank that he knew I hated. Not only that, he ruined a $500 cake. He ruined my makeup, my hair, and the top of my dress. The cake got all over. Though I still do love him, and I'm wondering if I really was too hard on him. That seems to be everyone else's opinion. So, am I the idiot? Guy here. I've ended relationships for less. OP, I'm so sorry. No, you're not the idiot. Your response was calm and restrained. You didn't hit him, throw the cake on the floor, or even rage at everyone in the room. You simply left. The groom owes you an apology, and as much of a do-over as he can create. Everyone who laughed owes you an apology, particularly Mom, who tried to normalize treating you this way. And anyone texting to blame you can suck eggs. Shout out to the mom for being a huge idiot. Calling OP a brat? I'd be angry too. I thought Cake Smash was meant to be for a 1-year-old on their birthday, which I think is also stupid. Just eat the cake like a normal person. I do wonder if OP has blinders on for this man's level of immaturity, based on her mother's level of immaturity. Because isn't it weird that he'd all of a sudden become immature and selfish at their wedding? Well, people with idiot abusive parents unfortunately often find idiot abusive partners. Ask me how I know. LOL. Girl, you are so justified. Your family traumatized you, and he was set up to continue the treatment. Move on with someone who will respect you and your boundaries. If he couldn't do this one thing, you know he won't respect your other boundaries. This, and the fact that he's then saying, "I never realized you'd get so emotional," which invalidates how she feels about it. This is a glimpse into the rest of your marriage. He completely disregarded what you specifically told him not to do. Annulment. Screw that guy. You deserve better. My wife, 52, and I, 51 male, partly retired with $4 million in savings, $1 million of which is our home. I'm a systems engineer, and my wife was an RN. I still work part-time and contract, but less than 20 hours a week, and my wife is fully retired. We're very frugal people and try to save where we can. I've also made it clear to my wife never to tell my family we have money and to pretend that we're dead broke. Her family knows we do well, but they never ask for money. My family won't stop asking for money. My mom, dad, and brother are terrible with money. My dad and brother both work oil and gas, which results in a few fat years of tons of money coming in, followed up with layoffs. Not saying the layoffs are their fault, but they have never saved anything, so they run up credit cards to pay for everything. My parents have borrowed against their house so many times that they haven't paid anything towards the principal and have had that house for 35 years. They should be retired but can't, and my dad recently had to go back to work as a school bus driver because they have so much debt and no money. My brother inherited their spending issues and has his own alcohol struggles. He's currently going through a second divorce. I didn't tell my son not to tell his grandparents we recently retired, and they found out from him recently and have been calling me livid because we pretended we were broke for years. But clearly, if we can retire, we have savings. I didn't tell them because I knew the results are they would just ask for money constantly. They had on several occasions when we went on vacation, and they found out via Facebook. We've learned since not to post, and came knocking for money. We lied and told them we won some money but had spent it all on vacation. Am I obligated to help them? I don't feel so because both of my parents and brother made lots over their careers, but my dad is in his 70s and still working. I'm sure they're contacting me to ask for money, but am I the idiot if I continue to pretend I have none? Not sure how I'm going to now that they know we're semi-retired. Edit. I have my wife cut my hair, so they don't know I make money. I have a basic cut, and my wife has been cutting my hair for nearly 30 years. Not the idiot, but it probably would have been easier to learn to say, no, I won't give you any money. You went to great lengths to avoid helping them before, so why change now that they know you have money? You sound like a huge pushover when it comes to your family. You need to learn how to set boundaries. Frankly, it sounds so bad you should probably see a therapist about it. Yeah, OP, can I borrow $20? Grow a backbone. Lying about it is only delaying the fights. You aren't obligated to do anything. Your family's all adults. They chose to spend their money. You chose to save yours. This isn't your fault, and you aren't responsible for their bills. You just need to make it clear to them that your money isn't theirs, and they aren't getting any of it. Exactly. Grow a pair. You're having your wife cut your hair, so your family thinks you don't have money? Tell your family you worked hard for your money, and you'll choose how it's spent. I also hope your wife is as frugal as you are and isn't trapped in this bizarre game you're playing. She deserves to enjoy the fruits of her labor instead of hiding her financial status from her in-laws. I, female 25, have been married for a year now. It's customary in our culture that women stay with their in-laws after marriage. I didn't subscribe to this and told my husband, then boyfriend, before marriage itself, that I wanted to live separately from them. He agreed since he himself wanted to live away from his parents and build his own life. But as a compromise, we would still visit them and stay at their place every couple of months. It is again customary that the daughter-in-law helps mother-in-law with household tasks, the stench of patriarchy. In our house, that is mine and my husband's, we're equals. We do chores together. In in-law's place, it's always his mom who does the majority of chores. She was a stay-at-home mom too. When I'm visiting, I'm expected to help her with the chores. Not my husband, just me. I just rope him in as well. The major issue is that everyone there wakes up at 5:30 to 6 a.m. That's way too early for me. even on days when I have work. Since we go there on my off days, I just want to sleep in, at least till 8 or 9 a.m. Initially, they didn't say much about this. A few snide comments that I let go, choose my battles and all. But this morning, my mother-in-law made a big show of how I never help her with the chores. Let me clarify. She wakes up at 6 a.m. and finishes most tasks by 9 a.m. By the time I'm awake, it's all done. I help prep, but that doesn't count to her. The fact that I don't slave away in the kitchen is making her mad. When she went on a whole woe is me act, my husband, who normally supports me, also got mad at me. He asked why I couldn't wake up a few days out of a month earlier than I wanted to and help his mom. When I said he could help his mom since he wakes up anyway, he said that's not the point. He said he doesn't ask much of me, and this is the least I could do. Respect his parents when we're staying under their roof. I got mad and told him I didn't want to stay under their roof, and neither did I have to. With that, I just packed my bags and left that place. Now my parents or husband are blasting my phone for overreacting. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. He married a woman, not a servant. While it's nice to help when one is a guest, you're being treated like a maid. These are his parents. He can help them. Isn't it interesting how you're expected to respect their customs, but they're not expected to respect yours, in which the guests are treated as guests, not unpaid help? If you're visiting on the days that you're off of work, it's not fair that only you're expected to wake up at the crack of dawn and slog away at the kitchen. If his mom is a stay-at-home mom, and his parents have found that balance where his dad works and his mom is responsible for all the household work, that's okay for them. They should accept that you work as well, and it's your time off of work. So if you're expected to help out in any way, your husband should as well. Stick to this and don't give in, or further down the road, you'll be expected to make way more compromises, and you'll find it more difficult to say no. When I first started dating my husband and visiting his family, I would get side eyes from all the women who cooked, set the table, and cleaned up when I refused to go along. Good Lord, his mom barely sat to eat at all, as she kept catering to everyone. It felt so awkward to me, as that wasn't my family experience. All the men sat on their butts. My husband was pulled away and given a talk. On the drive home, he mentioned to me, I said, when I see all the men pitching in and helping, I will. Now, this is a husband who cooked every night for us with no problem. I cleaned up after dinner. He fully participated in the household chores as we both worked. The next time we visited, he got up and cleared the table. Finally, a couple of the boys followed his lead. Now everyone pitches in to help. I'm not sure how difficult the cycle would be to break if it's cultural, but you can try. My brother is a deadbeat dad to 2 of his kids, his oldest 2 sons. He abandoned his ex and went out of his way to ensure she didn't get child support out of him. By the time his oldest would be old enough to start figuring crap out, she moved so they could have a fresh start and not worry about possibly finding out how much he didn't want to be their dad. She also cut me out of their lives, which I got. After all, I was the younger brother of the guy giving her and her kids the middle finger after creating both kids. So I'm probably not someone to fully trust. The boys and I have contact now that they're both adults. My brother's not aware of this. We're mostly estranged, and I don't think highly of him. I'm a single dad and would never abandon my kids. My brother got married 5 years after he abandoned his sons. His wife wanted to meet me when they got engaged and made a big deal out of us not being close and me saying no to meeting her several times. She pushed me on why, and I said I didn't respect deadbeat parents. She said he wasn't a deadbeat, and his ex kept him away from the kids. I told her that was a lie, and he had gone out of his way to sever his obligations to those boys. She didn't believe me. I told her I was present during fights between him and his ex. I had heard him say he didn't give a crap about those boys. She dismissed what I said. They got married, and now they have some kids together. I don't even know how many for sure. A few weeks ago, she reached out to me. and said my brother had admitted to abandoning his older sons and made sure she never got a cent from him. She was saying how wrong that was, but now that she knows, she feels like the kids should all meet, and she'll find the boys and tell them that they need to meet their siblings. I asked, "Are you serious?" and told her she should not track down the kids he abandoned to tell them they needed to meet their kids that he didn't abandon. She defended what she wanted and said her kids deserved to know them, and 2 grown men should want to know their family. I told her she had no business interfering in this when it had nothing to do with her. I reminded her that the kids are related biologically, but leave it for them to decide in the future. Do not try rubbing this in their faces. She doesn't know that my nephews already know my brother has more kids. They don't care. They've said that they'll never want a relationship with them. She said it has everything to do with her, and I'm being an idiot. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your brother's wife is really overstepping on this. She should be worried that her husband lied to her concerning what happens with his first marriage and his children, because sure as crap, he'll do the same thing to her if given a chance. These 2 grown nephews have nothing to gain by befriending their sperm donor's current kids. Yeah, she's hoping she can get the sons her deadbeat husband abandoned to play happy families with her kids. She can carry on with her "he won't do it to our kids" Delulu fantasy. If she wants to keep living in La La Land, that's her issue, not OP's nephew's problem. She was warned she was marrying a deadbeat, but the rose-tinted glasses were too strong. Nailed it. She's trying to fix her husband's mistakes, so that'll somehow rub off on him and prevent him from doing it again. In that sense, and only in that sense, does it have everything to do with her. OP has my respect for seeing through this request as selfish and protecting his nephews from this dumpster fire she's trying to light. When this all blows up in her face, and it will, you can tell her that you tried to warn her to stay out of it. I, female 24, have been working for a year and making good money. Recently, my parents approached me and asked if I could pay for my sister's tuition. I said no, that even if I could, I won't. I have some reasons for the same. When I wanted to go to university and got admission into a good one, my parents said they couldn't afford the tuition. Though disappointed, I said fine, just co-sign some loans with me. They refused again, saying they didn't want to take such a burden at their age. This made me frustrated. We had talked about college before, and they had never said we didn't have the funds for it. I had worked my butt off for it. I hadn't saved money because I never knew it was a concern. I had to go to community college and work part-time to pay for it. I had switched to accounting and worked at a small accounting firm. It went big, and as I graduated, I got a good-paying job there due to prior experience with the company. Now seeing how my parents dared to ask me for money, I was furious. They said I had a responsibility towards my sister, that I have the resources and should help her achieve her dream. I told them she was their kid and they had the responsibility, not me, that they should sign a loan with her. Then they said they couldn't do that, citing the same reason for not wanting a loan into their retirement. I said tough crap. Let her figure it out on her own. Now my sister's blasting my phone, calling me idiot for not helping her. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot for not offering to pay your sister's tuition, but you can still help your sister. You can point her towards any resource that helped you get through college, how you found your job to where you looked for any scholarships, if you got any, and where you got loans for college. Help comes in many forms. I think sis wants help in the form of a check, though, not advice where she would have to make some effort herself. She wouldn't have called with immediate hostility if it was just the help she wanted. I get that the parents could have lied. I wouldn't put it past people like that, to be honest. Unless sis is used to getting her own way and can't take no for an answer. She would have handled it with the maturity of someone over 6 years old. OP, you worked your butt off because they didn't want to take on financial obligations for their kid, but expect you to for their other kid? No, sorry, honey. This situation smacks of entitlement and favoritism. They have a lot of nerve saying it's your responsibility. Go on with your life and let them figure it out.